Imagine carrying a backpack that never got lighter. It cried without warning. It needed you almost every minute. It couldn't walk. It couldn't feed itself. And you couldn't put it down. Now imagine doing all of that while crossing forests filled with predators. Because for prehistoric mothers, the hardest part didn't end after childbirth. It had only just begun. Human babies are strange. Not just cute, strange. A newborn deer can stand within a few hours. A baby horse can run soon after it is born. Even baby giraffes are walking before the day is over. Human babies can barely hold up their own heads. From an evolutionary perspective, we're surprisingly unfinished. But that wasn't a mistake. It was the price of becoming human. Our brains became enormous. Too enormous. If babies stayed inside the womb until they were fully developed, their heads would simply become too large to fit through the birth canal. So, evolution found a compromise. Babies were born earlier than you might expect. Not because it was perfect, because it was the only solution that worked. The rest of the brain would continue developing outside the womb. That sounds clever until you realize who had to deal with the consequences. It wasn't evolution. It was mothers. A prehistoric mother couldn't simply leave her baby in a cave while she searched for food. There were no locked doors, no fences, no safe nursery. A hungry hyena didn't care if the parents were only gone for 5 minutes. Neither did snakes, or leopards, or strangers from another tribe. The baby had to come everywhere. While gathering berries, while digging for roots, while collecting firewood, while preparing food, while crossing rivers, while walking for miles. Every single task came with extra weight. And, unlike a backpack, that extra weight could suddenly start crying. Imagine finally spotting food after hours of searching. You crouch behind a bush. You stay perfectly still, because something dangerous is nearby. And then your baby decides it's the perfect moment to cry. Today, that's embarrassing. Back then, it could be fatal. Every sound traveled. Predators listened. So did rival tribes. Silence wasn't comfort. Silence was survival. Night wasn't any easier. Modern parents complain about waking up several times during the night. Prehistoric parents had a much bigger problem. Darkness itself. There were no walls, no locks, no windows, no security cameras. Only a thin layer of animal skin between your family and the wilderness. Every strange sound mattered. Every rustle in the grass. Every cracking branch. Every distant growl. Imagine trying to fall asleep knowing something outside might already be watching your camp. Sleep wasn't peaceful. It was survival with your eyes closed. And before sunrise, the work started all over again. Here's something fascinating. Scientists believe humans survived because mothers rarely raised children alone. Unlike many animals, humans became cooperative parents. Grandmothers helped. Older brothers and sisters helped. Aunts helped. Uncles helped. Friends helped. Sometimes even people who weren't related helped. Anthropologists call this cooperative breeding. It may be one of the biggest reasons humans spread across the entire planet, because one exhausted mother simply couldn't do everything alone. Raising a human child became a group project, and every helping hand increased the child's chances of surviving. That ancient system never completely disappeared. You can still see it today. Parents naturally ask grandparents for help. Friends babysit each other's children. Older siblings watch younger ones. Entire communities still come together to raise children. Our modern world looks different, but our instincts haven't changed very much. Your brain still reacts instantly when it hears a baby cry. Lack of sleep still affects your emotions. Carrying a child for hours still leaves your arms exhausted. Your body is still running software written hundreds of thousands of years ago. The world changed. Your biology didn't. When we picture prehistoric survival, we usually imagine hunters chasing giant animals across open plains. Those stories are exciting, but they aren't the whole story. Humanity didn't survive because someone killed a mammoth. Humanity survived because millions of mothers woke up every morning and did the impossible. They carried children across dangerous landscapes. They found food while carrying another human being. They protected babies that couldn't protect themselves. They survived pregnancy. They survived childbirth. And then they somehow found the strength to do it all again, generation after generation. Without weekends, without hospitals, Without modern medicine, without ever knowing if tomorrow would come, history remembers kings. History remembers warriors. History remembers great battles. But long before any of them existed, there were mothers quietly doing the hardest job our species has ever known. And every single person alive today exists because they succeeded. The story of humanity wasn't only written by those who hunted. It was also written by those who carried the future. And maybe that's the greatest survival story of all.